Hello everyone, this is part 1 of how to make Plants vs. Zombies in Scratch. For those unfamiliar, Plants vs. Zombies is a popular tower defense game where players try to defend their house from an army of zombies using various plants. The goal is to collect sun, and use it to place plants in different lanes to stop the zombies before they reach your house. In this video, we'll set up the game and create our first plant, a pea shooter, and also a zombie. But before we begin, if you want to transition from making games in Scratch to making real web games, then check out my Unity from Scratch course at fuelvinacademy.com. In this course, I teach you how to write code using C# and how to use Unity Game Engine, which is the most popular software to create games. The games I create in my course are in a very similar style to the games I create in my Scratch tutorials, and I made this course for absolute beginners. So if you want to learn how to code in C# and use Unity to create awesome web games, then join my community for free and buy my course at fuelvinacademy.com. But anyways, let's get started. So first off, I have a starter project with all of the images that I'm going to use for this video. So be sure to go to that project and then open up your backpack and drag the sprites into your backpack like so. And also click the stage and go to backdrops and drag the backdrop into your backpack as well. So now your backpack should have these images. Alright, so now let's begin by adding in our images. So I'm going to first delete the Scratch Cat, and I'm going to open up the backpack and drag our images. So this is the pea shooter, and the pea, and the zombie. So these three are all empty sprites. But if we go to costumes, then we can see the images for these sprites right here. And now I'm also going to add in the background. So let's go to stage and go to backdrops, and I'm going to open up the backpack and drag the lawn costume inside of here. Alright, and now we have our lawn background. So I'm going to delete the first backdrop, and if we zoom out, so now I'm going to click it and then recenter it a bit so that it's more in the center of the screen over here. Cool, so I think this looks pretty good for our game. Okay, so now let's code our pea shooter. So the pea shooter, which is over here, is the very first plant that we unlock. And this pea shooter just shoots out peas. So let's make this pea shooter shoot. So I'm going to go to events and drag a when flag clicked. And then I'm going to go inside of control and drag a forever loop. And then I'm going to drag a create clone of myself block, put it inside of the forever loop, and change it to create clone of p. And then I'm going to drag a wait 1 seconds block and make it something like wait 1.5 seconds. Now if I go to the p sprite and then show it, and now if we just click the green flag, then a clone of this p sprite is going to be created every 1.5 seconds. So now we want these peas to move in a straight line from left to right out of the pea shooter. So inside of the pea sprite, I'm going to drag a when flag clicked. Then I'm going to go to looks and hide the original sprite because we only want the clones to show. And then let's go to control and drag a when I start as a clone. Then let's go to looks and show it. And then let's go to motion and drag a go to XY block. And now we want the P clones to show from the pea shooter. So I'm going to go to sensing and drag this block, which says backdrop number of stage, and then change stage to pea shooter. And now we have X position of pea shooter. And now I'm going to right click, duplicate, and also have a Y position of pea shooter. And let's drag X position of pea shooter inside of here, and Y position of pea shooter inside of here. Okay, so now when the P clones are created, then they should spawn from the pea shooter. But now I do want these clones to spawn from the mouth. So let's go to operators and drag a plus, and let's make the P's go to the right a tiny bit. So maybe something like +5, and then drag this on the left side and put it inside of the go to X. And let's try it again. Maybe something like +7. And then let's also drag another plus and drag the Y position on the left side, drag it back in, and let's try something like plus 10. Alright, maybe a bit higher, so plus 13. So now the peas are going to spawn from here. Alright, so now we want the peas to move. So let's grab a repeat until block inside of the control. So repeat until, and we want the peas to keep moving to the right until it reaches the right edge of the screen. So the right edge of the screen is about X position to 40. So let's go to operators, grab a greater than operator, and repeat until the X position of the P is greater than, let's say, 237, because we want it to be a bit less than 240. And then let's drag a change X by block, put it inside of the repeat until, and let's just keep it like that. Alright, so now if we try it out, and as you can see, whenever a clone is created, it moves to the right of the screen. Awesome. Now we want the clones to delete themselves after they reach the edge of the screen. So after this repeat until loop, let's go to control and then just delete this clone. Alright, now they get deleted once they reach the edge of the screen. Now we also want these P clones to be deleted once they touch the zombie. So inside of this repeat until, let's grab an if, and go to sensing, and check if touching zombie. Then let's go to control, and delete this clone. So now it should remove itself once it touches the zombie, just like that. Cool. And now let's go back to the Pea Shooter real quick, and I'm just going to go to motion, and drag the go to XY block under the win flag clicked, just to save its position. So -183 and -9. Alright, so now if we just drag this Pea Shooter anywhere, then the peas should come out wherever the Pea Shooter is, just like that. So now let's make the zombie move. So let's go inside of the zombie sprite, and I don't want the zombie to move at the same speed, because that would be sort of boring. Instead, I want the zombie to move fast, and then slow, and then fast, and then slow, just like how a zombie would move. So to do so, let's go to events, and then drag a win flag clicked, and then I'm going to go to variables, and then create a few new variables. So the first one is going to be called speed, and then I'm going to select for this sprite only, and click OK. This is going to be the current speed of the zombie. Now I'm going to create another variable, and I'm going to call it max speed, and then select for this sprite only, and click OK. And then I'm going to create one more new variable, and I'm going to call it acceleration. And then select for this sprite only, and click OK. And this is going to be how much the zombie speeds up when it's walking. So under this win flag clicked, let's first set speed to 0, set max speed to something like 0.9, and then set acceleration to a small number, let's just say something like 0.04. Alright, now let's go to control, grab a forever loop, and let's make it start at the edge of the screen. So let's go to motion, drag a go to XY block, let's make it go to X, let's say 245, and Y -2, and we want it to walk fast and then walk slow all the way until it reaches the left edge of the screen. So let's go to control, and grab a repeat until block, and repeat until, let's grab a lesser than block, go to motion, and repeat until its X position is less than the left edge of the screen. Let's just say -245. Okay, so now let's make it walk. So we want to change its X by its speed. So we're going to drag a change X by, and then go to operators, grab a multiplication operator, and then go to variables, grab the speed variable, put it on the left, and then times -1, since it's walking to the left. Now let's drag this inside of the change X by, and right now its speed is 0 because we set it to 0 at the start. But now we want to slowly increase our speed so that it's changing X by a larger and larger amount. So let's change speed by acceleration, or how much faster it's going to be walking. So now if we just try it out, it moves faster and faster and faster, just like that. But we don't want it to move too fast, because we want a maximum speed that it can walk at. So that's where we use max speed. So let's go to control, grab another repeat until block, put it around these 2 blocks, just like so, and repeat until the speed is greater than max speed. So grab a greater than, go to variables, grab speed, and greater than max speed. And once speed is greater than max speed, that means that we want it to slow it down. So let's first set speed to max speed after this repeat until block, and then right click, duplicate, and drag this after this block. So just like so. Alright, so now we want to slow down the zombie. So inside of this repeat until, let's repeat until speed is less than a small number. Let's say 0.01. That means that speed is pretty much 0, and we want to be decreasing our speed. And to decrease our speed, we just change speed by acceleration times -1. So the speed gets lower and lower until the speed is about 0, and then we set speed to 0. So now let's try it out. Now it goes fast, and then slow, fast, and then slow, fast, and slow, just like that. Awesome. And as you can see, the speed variable is changing just like this. And of course, you can play around with the max speed and acceleration variables to make it go even faster or even slower. But now I'm going to go to variables and add one more variable. Let's call it walk delay. And select for this by only and click OK. And I'm just going to set walk delay to something like 0.05. Put it over here, and then I'm going to go to control, grab a wait 1 seconds block, put it at the very end over here after set speed to 0, and I'm just going to wait walk delay seconds, just to add a bit of a wait between each step. So just like that. Cool. So now we have the zombie walking just like this. So now one thing is that I want the zombie walking to be a bit more realistic. I want it to go up and down a bit as if it's actually walking. And to do so, we can actually go inside of the costumes of the zombie, and let's go click this rectangle tool, and let's draw a big rectangle over the entire screen just like this. Now let's go to outline, and then make an outline of 1, and then go to the fill, and click no fill. So now if we select our rectangle, I'm just going to bring it inside of the drawing area a bit, just like this. We should have a very, very thin black outline. And I'm just going to make the outline a bit thicker. All right. And now with this rectangle, I'm going to select it, drag it all the way up to the edge of the drawing area, as you can see over here. And then I'm going to drag it down even more, just like that. And then drag it up again to the very edge. So now it should just be the very bottom of our big rectangle on the very top of our drawing area, just like so. All right, now lastly, I'm going to select it, go to outline, and then click no outline. And now I'm going to go back inside of the code and go to looks, and I'm going to first clear all graphic effects under the when flag clicked. And then I'm going to grab a change color effect by block and change it to fisheye, and then make it something like 0.3. Drag it inside of the repeat until, just like this. And then right click duplicate, drag it inside of the other repeat until, and change it by -0.3. So now if we just try it, then the zombie gets a bit squished while it's walking, just like that. Cool. Now it looks a lot better. So how this trick works is that fisheye is a special effect which makes the images a bit warped. So if I just go back to costumes and delete this humongous rectangle that we added, and then go back to the code. Then, if we change fish eye, I'll change it by, let's say, 25, then the zombie becomes something like this. So that's what the fish eye effect does. But since we added that humongous rectangle, it treats the zombie with that rectangle as one single sprite. So if you notice inside of this sprite here, the zombie is really small. And that's because Scratch thinks the huge invisible rectangle is part of the zombie. So now if we do the fish eye effect, then it does it on the entire zombie sprite, which makes it look like it's shrinking. Now let's do the similar trick to our Pea Shooter. So we want the Pea Shooter to have sort of a shooting animation by using the fish eye effect. So let's go inside of the costumes, and let's draw a line. I'm going to hold shift, and then draw it to make it a straight line, just like that. And I'll just select the line, give it a bit bigger of an outline, and now Scratch considers this as the entire sprite. And keep in mind that this is the center of the sprite, and the fish eye effect is going to work from here. So I want the mouth of the Pea Shooter to sort of expand and then shrink while it's shooting. So I'm going to move this line up a bit. All right, let's see where the center is. Okay, maybe a bit more. And I think this is a good center. So now this is where the fish eye effect will be taking place. So let's select our line and then make it a clear outline. Go back to the code, and I'm going to drag a repeat block and then go to looks, and I'm going to change fish eye effect by something like 2 and repeat, let's say 14. And I'm going to right click duplicate, repeat 2, and then change fish eye effect by -14. And now I'm going to drag this wait 1.5 seconds before the create clone of P, and then make it wait something like 0.9 seconds, and then drag the repeat 14 before the create clone, and the repeat 2 after the create clone. So now let's try it out. Now whenever it shoots, the mouth sort of goes back a bit and expands, just like that. And I think that's a pretty cool effect for the Pea Shooter. And also the zombie is not exactly working, so let me fix that real quick. So oops, it seems like I removed the fish eye effect inside of the zombie, so I'm going to add it back real quick. All right, and now let's try both of them out. Cool, it seems like both the Pea Shooter and the zombie has that small effect, which makes it look like it's actually alive. Just like so. As you can see, the Pea Shooter is shooting, and its mouth is going back a bit, and the zombie is walking, and it's sort of going up and down a tiny bit. And now the last thing I want to add is some health for the zombie. So let's go to the zombie sprite, go to variables, and I'm going to create a new variable. I'll call it health, and then select for this sprite only, and click OK. Now I'm going to set health to, let's say, 10 when the flag is clicked. And now I want the zombie to take damage. So let's go to events and drag a when flag clicked. And I'm going to drag a forever loop and check if touching P, then I'm going to change health by -1. And then I'm going to go to control and check if health is less than 1. Then I'm going to simply go to looks and hide the sprite. And also I want the zombie to flash when it gets hit by a P. So I'm going to also set brightness effect to, let's say, 20, and then wait 0.05 seconds, and then right click duplicate, and then set brightness effect back to 0 and wait 0.05 seconds. Cool. Now let's try it out. And it doesn't seem to work. And that's because the P is being deleted too quickly. So the zombie doesn't even detect the P. So inside of the P sprite, let's just add a wait 0 seconds right before it gets deleted when it touches the zombie. So that way we can make sure that the zombie gets hit first before the P is deleted. So now let's try it again. And now, as you can see, the zombie now flashes. Awesome. And the zombie should take 10 hits before getting deleted. So let's see. And now it is gone just like that. And the zombie is not showing, so I'm going to go back to the zombie sprite and make sure to show it when the flag is clicked. Cool. Now let's look at our game again. And now everything seems to work just like so. Awesome. So the zombie has 10 health. Pea Shooter is shooting. And once it reaches 0, then it gets deleted just like that. And now we have the very basics of our game. We have a Pea Shooter, we have a zombie. They both have very cool animations. And the zombie is moving slowly towards the Pea Shooter. Pea Shooter is shooting, and the zombie gets destroyed once it reaches 0 health, just like that. Awesome. Anyways, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, then give it a thumbs up and subscribe too if you haven't already. In the next video, I'll be making it so that you can buy plants and place it anywhere on the map. And I'll also add other features. And once again, be sure to check out my Scratch to Unity course, link is in the description below. But anyways, that's it for this video. See ya!